Be a good little fella now and open the door.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
I'm getting nostalgic for cartoons this year because today on the 28 Days of Christmas, I'm looking at the original Nickelodeon special. And, as a bonus, why don't we go to yesterday's self, like last night, and see what special that he discovered. What did you discover this time? Thank you, daytime self, and welcome back to the nighttime version of myself for the 28 days. And I believed I have found a new classic. Okay, may not be like a masterpiece, but maybe after over like a couple of years, may become a classic. This classic being How Murray Saved Christmas. It was a TV special that aired on NBC, which followed the adventures of a cranky restaurant owner who finds himself forced to fill the job of Santa Claus for one night, all because of a elf's invention of a jack-in-the-boxer, like a boxing glove that replaces the the jack, and basically, essentially, it knocks Santa out and causes his memory to be a little bit screwy, which causes the elf named Edison to find Murray in his restaurant and ask him for help. And surprisingly, the story is told in rhymes, because, you know I'm done rhyming. There's so much rhymes in this. There's currently a 60% on Metacritic and 5 stars on Amazon for this special, and soon to be enough, it'll come out on DVD. Luckily for me, I happened to record this by the time it premiered. It has a very colorful cast. It basically is filled with a lot of holiday crew members. A lot of holidays varying from, well, of course, December to January. Well, backwards, January to December. But that ain't the case. But overall, the special is somewhat interesting, though sometimes it is a little weird seeing how the writer, like one of the writers of The Simpsons, actually did this. But who knows what people are going to say about this. I think it was alright. I think there was a good colored cast and crew members that were a part of this. I mean, there was obviously Tom Kenny and Billy West that were in this. So many crew members that, honestly, it's hard to keep count. But again, it's up to you. This is a new special, and hopefully over the years, it may become somebody's new favorite holiday special. May not be the best as like the small one or any of the regular show Christmas specials, but it's definitely worth a try. And now, daytime self, back to you. Thank you for that. I think people would be interested in that one. So, today we are going to talk about a couple of Nickelodeon holiday specials that really tug at the heartstrings, but because of the fact that whenever I see them, they really hit a nostalgia level for me. They're really good specials since I was a kid, and ever since I resaw them today again, they're still memorable. First, we have the SpongeBob Christmas special, Christmas Who. In that one, SpongeBob is trying to get the whole town of Bikini Bottom to believe in Santa Claus. After running into Sandy, setting up her Christmas lights on her home, essentially Squidward's like the grump. He doesn't believe in the holidays. Doesn't believe, like Jack, about Santa Claus. And of course, the rest of the town sort of believes in Squidward, like there isn't any Santa Claus in existence, which gets SpongeBob really depressed. And of course, Squidward acts like a... well, they obviously show what he acts like in the images 2 times. But essentially, Squidward decides to dress up as Santa Claus and ultimately bring the Christmas spirit to Bikini Bottom. This was back when SpongeBob was actually pretty cool. Back when he used to be funny. Back when the creator used to be at least involved in the show. Heck, when I was a young kid, this was one of my favorite holiday specials. And SpongeBob was one of my favorite shows on Nickelodeon, right next to the Fairly OddParents and Rugrats. Plus a little bit of Rocket Power. Which, speaking of Fairly OddParents, Our next special we have today is actually on this Nickelodeon DVD, because I don't know whether they are deciding to release the Fairly Odd Parents on DVD, the original seasons on DVD or not. Which most likely they aren't, because they're just a bunch of lazy jerks. Is that today we're talking about the Fairly Odd Parents Christmas special, Christmas Every Day. Christmas Every Day is one of the few Fairly Odd Parents holiday specials. They had one on Valentine's Day. They had one literally on... I mean, from what I could tell, they had like 2 on a holiday special. Like the holiday season. Like, I remember there being like the Valentine's Day one. But this ain't Valentine's Day, and we ain't talking about it now. There was another one that came out later on in the later seasons, Merry Wishmas, but then of course there's that live action, like, Fairly Odd movie. But we're not here to talk about that, because Fairly Odd movie, A, it's ridiculous, and B, it's completely unnecessary. And just strays away from the fact that it's supposed to be sort of like South Park and The Simpsons and Rugrats and... I would say Ed, Edd and Eddy, but I don't know. Where the characters never age. Sort of like how Phineas and Ferb somewhat have an endless summer. For this fact, one of the specials from Fairly Odd Parents I'm talking about is the special Christmas Every Day. Of course, taking into consideration, there can be a story on what if Christmas wasn't one day, but what if it was every day, taking the majority of the holidays and just being around all year long. Well, that story is actually written with inside Christmas Every Day from the Fairly Odd Parents. Some people, at least growing on Sesame Street, probably may have heard about Elmo Saves Christmas, which was, again, the whole Christmas Every Day plot. But I'm talking about Fairly Odd Parents. Essentially, Timmy Turner really hates the holidays around before Christmas Day, because obviously the fact is his parents are gone, and of course he has that babysitter that drives him up the walls. It makes him do like gift wrapping, like fruit cake, but just for her to burn in the burn in the fireplace. No need necessary. She just wants to torture Timmy. But overall, the Fairly Odd Parent, essentially on Christmas Day, Timmy Turner winds up going into a big musical number, and in that, he wishes that Christmas was every day. And of course, the wish comes true. With 3 weeks going by and Christmas being every day, every other holidays being passed upon. Easter, April Fool, Cupid, which would be Valentine's Day, the Halloweeny dog, which is apparently the Easter Bunny's dog. There's a lot of holidays, it's hard to keep track. Anyways, as soon as Christmas enters its 3rd week, everyone's starting to get sick of the everyone's starting to get completely sick of the holidays. And what do they decide to do? Well, simply put, the other holidays, except for Christmas, winds up deciding to actually travel to the North Pole and steal Santa's magical powers, so that obviously they could ban him into a day that doesn't exist, which would be February 33rd. The mysterious missing day. And with that, they wind up stealing Cosmo and Wanda to take them up to the North Pole, as, of course, Timmy takes all of that random gear that his parents had and travels up to the North Pole with help from Butte, Montana, though, if accurately placed on a map, that would be Billings. I should know, I've actually been to Montana twice. Essentially, he travels up from Montana to Canada to Greenland, which many people, like, joke around Greenland, because many people joke around, like, Greenland, saying, what? I mean, this place is filled with snow, it's not even green? It's not even green or anything. It's so ridiculous. Why is it called Greenland? They should call this place Iceland, and call the other place Greenland. But that's just the way mapping is. It's definitely hilarious and real memorable. Overall, I really think that Christmas Every Day can be a really good holiday special, and just give it a chance. And it will give you a reason why the original Fairly Odd Parents was way better than At least up to the point of my acknowledgement, when they decided to have the Fairly Odd Baby and the Fairly Odd Pet. Or even a live-action Timmy Turner, played by Drake Bell. Lastly, we're going to be talking about a Rugrats holiday special. Now, I know for a fact that they've done, I think, basically a holiday on just about everything. But I'll talk to you later on what else they did. Today, I'm going to talk about one of the two Christmas specials that Rugrats decided to do. I'm not going to talk about babies in Toyland, because that one, at least the newer Rugrats, I believe I don't have much of an interest in. I mean, I remember watching Rugrats as a kid. I loved Rugrats. I mean, right next to SpongeBob and Fairly OddParents, it was one of my favorites on Nick. Or at least I think Rocket Power was also, but again, it's hard to keep track of its original shows. But to be honest with you, Rugrats definitely holds a soft spot in here. Or at least in my heart, to be more precise. I don't want to be acting like Snowden with that ridiculous line. Essentially, there's like a couple of plots. Santa Claus winds up, in one of the plots, there's, Chucky is afraid of Santa Claus because he's sort of like a freaky little stalker to, Chucky. And of course, Tommy decides to essentially find a way to trap him. While there's another story going on about sort of like the mixture of like sort of the originality of the Rugrats while also the gift of the Magi, or whatever it's pronounced. With Angelica winding up taking like a couple of toys of Phil and Lil's, replacing her Lil's crayon book. It's really hard to distinguish between the two. I mean, Phil and Lil, they nearly look the same, except one has a duck. Let me think. So, if I remember right, Phil had a Reptar doll, and he wants a Reptar space helmet. Lil wants crayons for her crayon book, but essentially he gets Phil she wants crayons for her coloring book, and both of them have to oppositely trade them each other the gifts that they got. So it's like, Lil has the space helmet for Phil's Reptar doll, and Phil has crayons for Lil. And essentially there's another story with Angelica, and she is trying to like win them over on the holidays with that whole gift exchange thing, but also trying to find a way to actually be nice after she winds up sort of going on this crazy spree of being like, you know, the most greedy person that you could ever think of as a young kid. There's too much in this special to give away, and for a fact, it really is one of the more memorable ones. Take it for what it's worth, and see the episode for yourself. Hopefully tomorrow we might have a real new classic, something that'll bring people to a new degree and say, that's really good. I really want to see this every year. And that's basically the concept. So, see you guys tomorrow for a brand new episode of 28 Days of Christmas with the return of the classics. And see you guys in the very near future for a new episode. So, goodbye.